I had a near-death experience in 1994. It occurred during an attack by a previous partner that, if you want to see the content of that, there's lots of that on YouTube. And I actually physically left my body and felt myself leave my body. As I left my body, I moved at speed towards light. But it was literally like, was I moving towards the light or was the light moving towards me? You couldn't quite make it out, but either way I was moving at speed. And as I got closer to this light, I could see a triangle of people, which I call my welcoming committee, and my granddad was at the point of the triangle. And just as I got close to him, I heard, "It's not time to go yet, duck," and I was literally then back in my body, back in the room that the attack was taking place in. So that's a sort of a précis of the near-death experience. How it changed me as a person? Massively. I'm very different to who I was back then. I definitely found my purpose. I came back different because I came back with a deep wisdom that has developed over the last 32 years and a real strong connection to source. And what's fantastic was I made a promise all those years ago when I was looking for someone to help me because I had severe PTSD, as did my son. I made a promise that I would be that person that someone needed when they were going through their trauma or their transition, because it was a massive transition. After the near-death experience, I lost my home, my job, my income, my peace of mind, my sanity for a while, a lot of friends, clothes, possessions, everything. So it was literally like starting afresh, being reborn. And what I realise as well now, looking back, that when you have that, you can actually turn it into a challenge, or you can turn it into an opportunity for rebirth, and that's what I chose to do. I decided to challenge my previous mindsets. I decided to create a new belief system and a new mindset that did take time, I must admit, to do. It required a daily discipline of following certain actions, such as being grateful. 5 new things to be grateful for, 3 new things to be grateful for if I struggled to find 5, and to end the day in that way. And that sort of started a springboard of different tools and techniques that kept being downloaded to me to follow, which I did. So it did build resilience, tenacity, strength, intolerance of people choosing to be in victim consciousness, if I'm honest. But I sort of developed my skill set into being a mentor to help others going through a transition. So I've been doing that now for 28 years. So I mentor people. That might involve some spiritual teaching them how to channel, connect, and find their own inner voice. So it went from being very much a victim to becoming empowered, and then passing that empowerment on to others. And I'm really blessed. I work with the most amazing people. I attract the best clients, honestly. I'm so blessed. And even using that term blessed, I've been using that for many years now. I've started using it when I didn't feel blessed in certain ways, but I always wanted to have that feeling of being blessed. And then because I used that term, I basically became blessed with the people that are around me, blessed with knowing what I'm here to do, blessed with my life and the family and the sons that I have. So even with life's challenges, I still feel blessed and peaceful. So yeah, that's how it's changed me in a nutshell. I think you heal in layers when you're ready to heal. It's like that onion. Like this time last year, I found out that our attacker had died, and that released some more trauma, so I had to have some therapy for that, which I did do successfully. That's why I don't talk about the attack anymore, because it's not it's not good for my mental health. I was interviewed recently and I was promised I wouldn't have to talk about it, and then he pressed me after like 10 hours of interview, so I did. But it knocked me about for 2-3 days, and that to me shows that isn't healthy, to keep going back to the natural events. And also, I think what's really important to understand, I've thought about this a lot, I know a lot of people are absolutely inspired by near-death experiences. A lot of clients that I work with now have come to me through my podcasts that I've done. And I've been looking at why are people inspired by near-death experiences, you know, from what they're saying to me personally when they come and work with me. And I really believe it's because they're looking for some validation that there's life after death, of course. But I think that's more than that. I think people have lost their way in life and they're looking for that self-connection and that connection to God or source. And when you watch a near-death experience that is absolutely miraculous, like mine is, there's no doubt about it. It is a miracle that we survived that day. I think that gives, what I've learned from all of that is, I learned to connect with myself, I learned to connect with my own inner guidance, my own inner guru, the soul speak, soul whisper, call it what you will, and then act upon that accordingly. And that, to me, is what people are really looking for, but I don't think they always know that. So they're looking externally to validate themselves through material things and stuff, but they're missing the point. Under my pen name of Angel Alison Ward, I've got 3 books available on Amazon. The first one is Awarded by Angels, which is the first book I wrote. My clients kept asking me to write this book, but it actually took me 6 years to sit down and write it because I wasn't sure if I want to write it or not. But it was therapeutic, and I always recommend anyone writing about your story. But it also helped me identify why what happened to me happened. I'll share that in a minute, actually, because that might be useful to someone watching. Then the second book is called Bringing You Back to You. And these are the tools and techniques that I downloaded and that I've passed on and continue to practice to this day. That was released 10 years ago, and it's had a resurgence of sales. In fact, I had the highest sales for last month. It could be that was featured in a Los Angeles Silent Book Club last month, I'm not sure, but that's really useful. A lot of my clients work through that book, so that is really useful. I've got 2 other books that are sold out, and I'm not sure if I'm going to re-release them or not. There's another book called Reluctantly Psychic, which is a compilation of 44 stories from myself and 43 other people that was written in lockdown in 16 days. Incredible that was written. That's available under Alison Ward on Amazon. And I'm currently writing my next one, which is called Aquarian Light Healing, which is a new healing modality which has been downloaded to me. And then if someone wants to follow me, I'm no longer on Facebook. For some reason I've got a lifetime ban. I haven't got a clue why, and I can't get back on there. So I'm just available on Instagram at Alison Ward, ALISON WARD, Soul Academy, SOULCADEMY, and I do lots of reels there to help people, you know, navigate life and share tools and techniques and what have you. I am rebuilding a new website which will be launched soon, AlisonWard.com, or my email alisonward555@gmail.com. This podcast is about resilience. I've given this a bit of thought. To build resilience, it's really important to know what your values are and to not stray away from your values. And if your body compass is telling you that something isn't right, that's because something isn't right. So pay attention to it and see if where you are at the moment aligns to your values, and if it doesn't, get back online, as it were. And I'd also say, you know, find out what your gifts are by doing things that you love and doing them often. And if you can make a business out of it, even better, because it'll bring you so much love and fulfillment and joy. I'm working with a lady at the moment, and she's going through real grief. She lost her husband a year ago, and the first few sessions she was in such a bad place, but the difference in her now is just, it's such a joy to observe someone transitioning to a better place. You know, and I think sometimes I know for a fact that part of what I do is definitely a gift of mine. I know it is. I see it in action. It amazes me. I think if we can find our gifts, because we've all got them, and sort of develop them, then chances are you could make a business out of your gifts. Because that's what we're here to do, isn't it? To help humanity by sharing our love and our gifts and our resilience. Wouldn't that be fantastic?